Luca Nation, welcome back to Lucas Tigers and Bronze. Oh my, with Cage and Andrew for your PWCC weekly report. I heard a quote today. I was listening to something.
Ooh, quotes. I like
Potential
quotes.
spam. iPhones are incredible. You now see potential spam. It was an interesting quote because after Premiere, and I'm sure we'll talk about Premiere today, Cage, because Premiere is a little bit of like a bellwether to how things might or might not finish in weekly. We'll hear your thoughts on that. And we'll hear your thoughts on Premiere because some interesting stuff ended high and set some record prices. But then I would say like the more mainstream, for lack of a better word, stuff where you can't add that flavor of creative pricing anymore. You kind of see it start falling and falling and falling. But
By the way, we got a lot of comments, and I'm going to say love on the creative pricing conversation. People really like that. People really enjoyed it. It's like the kind of conversation that you're not getting anywhere else, which is good job for you, and a big thumbs up to the Iron Sheik on that.
So the quote was, "No man with experience is ever at the mercy of a man with an opinion." And I think what we saw, Cage, the last 2 years when things were good, everyone had an opinion. You know, this is a true RPA out of 99 opinion, right?
Mm-hmm.
Eye appeal matters. Doesn't not matter. Opinion. But I think what we're seeing is the market mature and people in the market get more experienced. The people who don't want to be here for the real thing have left. And I think the core collector, I think they're much smarter, much wiser, not as easy to dupe them. What do you think? What stuck out to you?
Yeah, I mean, listen, I got to tell you, the first part of your conversation is weekly and Premiere, very different audience, very different market. Like, I just logged in to do the show and saw the scroll on the top and saw a card, and I was like, oh, I'm going to bid on that because it's, you know, it's one of those where, like, I'd like to have it in my PC. It reminded me of the 90s collections that I had of certain guys, and I'm like, oh, yeah, I'm just going to throw a bid on that. Like, that's not what you're doing in Premiere. Premiere is, you know, you do your Lincoln Hawk. You take your hat, you put it on backwards, you turn into a machine, and you go
the
to
way
war.
you do Premiere.
You go to
The
war.
way you do Premiere. But Cage, if you looked at this Premiere, what was interesting is items that might have been Premiere worthy a year ago are no longer Premiere worthy. You saw
true.
3 Brady 1-of-1s finish below $10,000.
Ooh.
That would have been unthinkable, unimaginable a year ago.
Well, there's a lot of one-of-ones now. A year ago, there were probably 400 less one-of-ones than there are now of even someone like Brady.
No man with an experience is ever at the mercy of any man with opinion. Now the market is more mature. They know. They're like, no. We know. We've seen this picture before. We've seen this.
No.
I don't think we're in for as much of a correction as people think. I just think we're seeing a kind of a shifting of the guard. I'm trimming the fat of my own collection. Supply. But I think the core collector class is as strong as it's ever been.
There you go. I think you're probably right. I mean, listen, and also we go through talking points. You know, this goes against my own interest, but there was a card in Premiere that I was watching, and there's a similar card in the weekly that we're going to talk about. I'm going to bring it up so I can talk about them right off the bat. And to me, it makes a ton of sense that the one that was in Premiere should sell for significantly more because the pop is so low. I'm talking about a Mike Trout card, by the way. All right, the 2011 Topps gold in PSA 10.
That's a card Cage knows almost as well as he knows Ian and Leah.
Yeah, and
that's a card that's been in your collection for a very long time.
I've had it for a while. Like, I paid, you know, less than 10% of what it sold for on the Premiere, and it sold for, I think, low. But it's one of those things, right, where it's like, oh, buy low pop, buy gold. But Topps update gold is not the same gold as what everybody thinks gold is. You know, there's a huge difference between Prism gold at a 10 and Topps Chrome gold at a 50, and then Topps regular gold, which is 2011 of them. Even though the PSA 10, I think there's like 3 dozen of them, maybe even there's like less than 3.
Correct. And that applied 50, to the Brady. So there's like mid-career Brady's, like 2009, 10, 11, 12, in the paper gold, not the Chrome. They're pop 6, 7, and 8. And here's what's interesting. That is a narrative that actually just changed recently. So Cage, back when I met him in 2020, was actually buying paper.
Yep, because it was harder to grade.
Remember that theory? It was harder to grade. Cage has always been a paper over chrome. And then at one point, he's like, guys, I've been doing it wrong. He even said it on the show. Chrome is outpacing. It kind of flipped paper.
100%.
Do you think that continues for eternity?
I think it depends. Listen, if your initial theory or thesis in the show is the correction and trimming the fad, and that's not just about the cards and collections, but it's about the people who collect. I think part of the reason the shift to chrome was that it was a newer blood in the hobby, and chrome was what they came in knowing. I was always a paper fan because if you look at continuity of rookies, like somebody like Trout doesn't have a chrome rookie. Chrome didn't come out until he was second or third year, right? So you can only get a Trout in paper. So if I'm looking at like, oh, I want to have I want to have this, I want to have that.
Did they have a chrome update from the get?
Not in 2011. There was no chrome update there. That year, there was no chrome. I think his first chrome is his second year. I'm pretty sure 2012 has a chrome, but the US, the update set for 2011, card number 175 is his card. Now, there's no shortage of parallels, and that's part of what I was talking about in this, right? And one's premier worthy, one's not. But you also get into the taste of people. It's a great kind of segue that you're talking about here, right? Because chrome versus paper, right? You'd think, wow, paper. Sometimes the pop on paper in the high grade is lower because it's harder to grade. They get dinged, the corners, you name it, the whole deal. But it doesn't matter because what does it always come down to? Supply and demand. And even though the supplies are less, the demand is more for the shiny. The demand is more for shiny shit. And that gold, there's no exception there. It's not an exception to the rule. And I love the gold. I do. I think it sold for like 16.3 in Premier with the buyer's premium. I think that was what it actually like, the Hammer plus buyer's premium was 16.3, which I mean, listen, great price, obviously. I think it was probably a little bit more last year, but you could say that about 99% of cards. It's definitely not, a bad price for the card. But the card that I'm going to compare it to is the same card, but a shinier version. The Diamond. The Diamond Anniversary, which was just out. They also had Cognac Diamond. They had all those other ones there, right? But the Diamond, you want to take a guess how many golds versus Diamond Anniversary? So when I bought the gold, there were like 30-something of them. Take a guess at how many gold PSA 10s and how many diamond PSA 10s there are. Take a little guess for me.
I think 50 gold and 65 diamond.
Okay, so there's 50 gold. You got it exactly right. Like we don't even have to talk about like, oh, you were close. To the number, there are 50 of them. And we just said that it sold for how much? It sold for 16.3. So there's a Diamond Anniversary in an older slab, but it's the one that has like the silver PSA on it, like the hologram PSA, not the newest one. And it's currently at $4,500 plus buyer's premium, right? So I'm sure it'll go a little higher than that, but basically it's
7-8K is where
7 or 8K. So it's half the price. So you would expect it, supply demand. You'd expect maybe there to be double the amount of supply, right? Maybe
guys in the comments, real quick. Anyone who's bought an old slab and has guide in PSA to put in a new slab and remembers the cost of that, throw it in the comments to help people. Because it's interesting. I don't know how much that costs, and that's a little bit of an arbitrage.
Right, reholdering. Yeah, it's on there. It's on a PSA stuff for reholdering. Anyway, so the fun part about it is there were 313 Diamond PSA 10s. There's 6 times as many. And yet it sells for half as much, which to me, if you're just doing like simple math on there, it means I guess there's 3 times as much demand for that cool looking shiny diamond one. Yeah, and it's funny. It's like it's how we look at these cards.
Cage, you're a dying breed, man.
I am. I really am.
The boomers are gone.
The boomers.
Once we push them out, we might get rid of the mantle cards altogether. Let me ask you this, though.
Until somebody makes a shiny chrome refractor mantle like they did this year, and all of a sudden people are going crazy for it.
That's
the way it works.
3 mantles sold in the premiere. One was 4.5. Yep. The other was a PSA 3, and the other was a BGS 1.5. Did you see the BGS 1.5?
Yeah, with the eye appeal. Yeah, with pinhole on it. Yep.
The BGS 1.5 sold for 60, where the PSA 3 sold for 66. What do you make of that?
People like centered cards on mantles. The mantles,
and that's a BGS graded, which is not known for vintage whatsoever.
Yeah, but everything that was knocked down because of the Beckett slab was improved because it did have the eye appeal on it, right? It did have a PWCC like A or something like that, I'm pretty sure. So, I mean, it was a better looking card. I mean, obviously, a pinhole knocks it down. But I will tell you, overall, I think Mantle's cards prices have come down, and I can speak from authority on it. I mean, PWCC is very good at updating valuations because now they have so many cards in the vault, they have to insure them for you. Part of what they do, having your cards in their vaults, insurance. And I have a 5. I mean, I have a Mantle 5. It's not a centered 5. It's a nice 5. Never really asked them about like eye appeal on it, but it's not perfectly centered. But you've seen it. It's a nice
sure.
5. Nice corners, good coloring, good registration. No creases, nothing like that. But the valuation that PWCC put on it, they took it down $30-something thousand after premiere, based on the sales.
That's interesting. That's actually an interesting thing. How often do they change those insurance?
Usually
values?
when there are comparable sales, and especially on their own platform. But that kind of card, it's so subjective. It's so, the price is so based on, the condition of the card itself. But I logged into my vault today and all of a sudden I had much less borrowing power because of sales of a comparable card. It's just one of those things. One of those things.
It's a good thing you don't buy on that. You would have had a margin call. Guys,
Yeah,
I want to give a quick shout out.
Uh-huh.
So that whole back to the experience quote. I'm someone that likes to learn from people who've done it. Like I don't want to take fitness advice from someone who doesn't do fitness and isn't an elite, athlete. I don't want to take card advice from people who haven't been in the hobby and haven't.
By the way, he doesn't. I asked like, "Hey, you got weight on your shoulders? How much do you bench press?" And he's like, "You're an idiot, Cage. Bench press is not a shoulder exercise." He does not take advice from
people
I say that? Who are not fitness experts. Dude, yes, I was trying to make a point, but he attacked me on that one.
I have that little bit of like bark in me, guys. I do.
That's all right. And it sticks with me because you don't yell at me too often.
Signed and Slabbed had an incredible, maybe 30 story posts recapping the premiere auction. The issue is they're probably going to be gone because 24 hours when you guys listen. I have them saved on my phone. DM him also, but it was really cool to see, so I could reference some of the PWCC premiere if you need.
Cool. I will give a shout out too. I watched a lot of the crossover last night. They asked my question on the live. I had Chris Hodge.
I'm not their demo. They don't know that my
laughing.
Generation goes to sleep at 9:30.
Yeah, but I mean, they're not East Coast, so that's part of the thing. I had them dying. I made a little joke, and you could see Chris didn't want to read it, but he was dying laughing. So it was fun stuff. But they asked, my question was, and I'd love to get, it was an attack at somebody. You have to go through it or stay up late. You
had to be there.
So here was my question, because I got a text about this right when it happened. And then I asked, here's the question. If you were the person who caught Pujols' 700th home run ball and you're sitting there in the Dodger VIP, in the security, the whole 9 yards, and Pujols says he wants to meet the guy and come shake his hand, the whole deal, and you imagine Pujols is going to make an offer for it, maybe the Dodgers will help him because he's an ex-Dodger. He played for the Dodgers for a little while. I don't know if you remember that.
I do.
And played for the Angels. So, his team's there, the Dodgers, he's got all kinds of back. You could really get creative. What do you ask for? What is your ask at that moment in time? You have the ball. You got Pujols 700. What's your ask? And this, guys, for people who listen, Andrew can answer, but I want to know what your answer is. I want to know you guys out there in comment land. Send me a DM or post it. Maybe we'll put
Mr. Pujols. Andrew,
Mr. Pujols.
Nice to meet you.
Yes. Andrew.
What is your offer?
Yes.
And before he says anything, I am prepared to reject your first offer. He hasn't offered anything.
So you'll go full Michael Scott on him.
I think confusion is a creative negotiation tactic.
Just yeah. You should just walk. Hey, Mr. Pujols, who are you again? I thought
He's a Mike.
Really, I'm sorry. I thought this ball was Nolan Arenado. I didn't want to meet you. I thought Arenado hit this one. I'm sorry. Oh yeah, you're too old. I'm not a fan of you. You really just kind of throw him for a loop. No.
Yeah.
That one of those kind of things. No, I mean, listen. So I do want to hear. Maybe we'll put a story up on the podcast page. If you were the one who caught Pujols 700 ball and he comes in to meet you, what would you ask for? Maybe people can respond to that. Maybe our guys
explain to me the passion for Credential's future. Why is that such a popular set?
Early numbered card. It crosses all the different sports, and I think that's what shiny, a lot of colors, very colorful, has all the stars. You could be a GOAT collector and find a credentials futures of Tom Brady, of Michael Jordan, of Derek Jeter, Ken Griffey Jr. Like it goes across all sports in a licensed branded product that right now doesn't exist and doesn't have multi years. So think about that, right? It's not something that's currently out in products. It's numbered, it's low numbered, and you have to go back to the years that they were making it to get it. So there are, it's not just a low number for that particular year. It's a low number overall. So if you're a Jeter,
it's not like out of 50 and then there's an out of 40, out of 70. It's the only numbered parallel. It's the base. And then
they have like a futures and the now, right? They have I think like two versions of them. But yeah, I mean, what I've learned is it's not just that rarity. I like gold cards for like Prism, but I like 2012 and that's it. Like I'm not spending a ton of money on other years. And even my 2012 thesis, every year they make Prism and it'll be extended when Fanatics finally makes Prism. They will cave to my pressure for that. There will always be. For you. Shoot.
So your Christian McCaffrey RPA?
We're 15 minutes in, by the way. We got to start talking about these cards before we get to 22.
We are.
I mean, I did. I talked about. Okay, good. I talked about the Trout.
What's your Christian McCaffrey?
I have a couple Christian McCaffreys. I can tell you exactly what they are.
So another spotlight that I think is really interesting that Sinus Lab did was how much more expensive true RPAs out of 99 sell for.
Yeah, I don't have that. I don't have a true. I might actually have a true out of 99.
But talk to me. Yeah. What do you think about that? Out of 99 outselling.
I have one of them out of 99 and a BGS 9, and I have a flawless out of 20 in PSA 10. There's only one of those, but I got BGS 9 and out. So what do I think about that? It's funny. You started this off by saying, opinions like assholes, and we have a lot of assholes who listen to the show. That was the quote, right? I didn't butcher
quote unquote.
Okay,
perfect. Don't get mad at Quick Cage. That was my quote.
Okay, so yeah, I mean, everybody has an opinion, right? But the funny thing is I saw somebody, I forget who the hell posted it. Somebody posted true RPA, and immediately I saw that and I was like, that's not the true RPA. And immediately the comments were like, I thought the true RPA was the National Treasures out of 99. That's not the true RPA. That's this version. That's the parallel. That's the this. People come out of the woodworks like hammering home. That's the true RPA. And what's funny about it is when they first started, we talked about the Kawhi last week. That's the true RPA, and it was out of 199. Then they started making them out of 99, and there weren't a million parallels. There weren't the Emeralds and the Stars and Stripes and the Andrews facial hair versions out of 7. And but now there's like 500 different copies. But yeah, traditionally, I believe that what card purists would say is that the true rookie is that out of 99. And what's funny is, what I think that goes back to?
Tell me what.
A comparison to Exquisite. I think people see the LeBron Exquisite out of 99, the RPA, and think, all right, well, we need to have some sort of continuity here. A true RPA is out of 99. Look at what they did in Exquisite, because that's held out there. Look, it's the out of 99 RPA. Well, we're going to use the out of 99 RPA. And there are parallels to that too, remember. But the true RPA is the one people like out of 99.
So I got
just
one
my
more
opinion.
Spotlight, but we could move into the weekly, and I could circle back with the spotlight. The spotlight is a card that could have been in weekly, to be quite honest.
Ooh, I like this. Very, 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 very.
Actually, maybe 2.
Very roundabout how we're getting there. I like it. Shoot.
All right, I'll bring it up right now. So
yes.
Trevor Lawrence, the gold Trevor Lawrence out of 10, PSA 8.5, outsold the auto, which is in a PSA 9. And
what auto?
Same exact card. The gold Trevor Lawrence.
Is this Prism?
Yes.
Okay.
I apologize.
That
Prism,
doesn't surprise me at all. That's basic.
Talk to me. Why?
There are certain cards that have the demand. The true rookie out of 99 is the one that has the demand, and sometimes will outsell ones that even have lower pop number because there's 5 or 6 times as many people who are chasing the out of 99. The Bowman Chrome, the first Bowman Chrome auto, is what people will chase, not the first Bowman Chrome card. That's the Topps card or the Topps Chrome card. When you're looking at a rookie card, there are certain cards, there are certain things that are just kind of like, hit baseball with the unwritten rules. That's the unwritten rules. The auto you want is a Bowman first auto. For baseball, the card you want is the top.
Story is like the consensus.
That's
unagreed upon rules.
Haj is 100% right again. Hoj, he's 100% right again.
Those were the 3 I wanted to bring up.
If you want an auto, you should be looking at an RPA of Trevor Lawrence. Look at the price difference between. I just saw somebody pull a Tua gold prism RPA. And it had this sick like dolphins patch in it. It had a piece of the dolphin. I just saw like one of the Gem Mint might have reposted it or something like that. And that card will sell for 10% of what like the RPA out of 99 from National Treasures will sell for. So yeah, I mean it's there are the ones that the perceived, one to get. And it's interesting, man. It really is. It's definitely interesting.
All right. Minute 20, Cage's Corner. Take us away with your weekly favorites. Don't give us any.
Before I get into my weekly favorites, let me spotlight two cards that because they're in the news and I want to throw them out there. 2017 Topps Chrome Green Refractor, Aaron Judge rookie. This is out of 99. We're talking about out of 99s. BGS 10 pristine. There are two BGS 10s. This is a cool one. It's got, him like against the wall. It looks like he's got his glove up. It's his 2017 Topps Chrome. It's a green refractor, real nice card, out of 99. It's currently sitting at $625 for his refractor rookie, numbered out of 99.
Well, you shouldn't be buying Judge right now. You would not recommend anyone buy Judge.
So, yeah, but at the price that this one's at, I wouldn't mind that one at all. So it's just one that I saw that I was like, all right, wow, okay. Is it because it's a number parallel that people don't love? Is the green not something that people are searching for and that kind of stuff? Also, while Pujols is going crazy, I love another guy who was a rookie that year, is a surefire Hall of Famer, and the two of their careers will always be linked because of that. I think they were rookies of the year together, and I happen to like, call me a classic collector. I don't love it when you have multiple guys on a card, but it's shitty. But I love the Magic Bird. Like, I love two guys that their careers were always linked, you name it. Irving's in the middle, but it's not his rookie. Remember, because it was a scoring leaders card. But yes, the Magic
Let's
Bird.
Not forget about Irving being on that card.
Irving's great. You're right. 100%. I love it when you know your stuff, man. There is a very cool card. It's a Topps traded. It's got a little gold foil on it because I think it was the 50th anniversary of Topps. 51. So it's a 2001 card. But the Topps traded rookie card, it's cool. It's a blue one. If you want to pull it up, you can. It's the Topps traded Ichiro and Pujols rookie. It's card number T99 in a PSA 10 Gem Mint, and it's only like $800 and something right now. We have a day. We usually record these Saturday afternoon, Saturday evening, and the auction doesn't end until Sunday, so we have some time. Who knows what they'll end at? But it's a really cool looking card, and it
Topps
puts two greats.
Topps was trying some stuff out. This is like Topps shrooming stage. This is their mid-20s. They went away from the white borders, the classic Topps look, and they were experimenting with a little bit of green, a little bit of a little gray. Interesting stuff. Okay.
Yeah, that was what the set looked like that year. I mean, and it's really cool because obviously that's their rookies of the year. It came out. It's, this was a card that has both of them. It's the traded set. I like it because, like I said, their careers are always kind of, intertwined. Talk about two amazing rookie of the years in the same year. It's just a really cool
comment
card.
on the fact that Topps changed the style for this year. No, nothing.
I mean, is it because it's green, so you like it because it's like trees, or you liked it? You said
I like
shrooms.
It because Topps was always a classic look.
Yes,
and then the millennium hit, and they're like, let us try a little bit.
Let's go nuts. Yeah,
let's go crazy.
All right, I get you.
And they're like, oh, that wasn't a good look in my mid-20s. Let me just go. Let me
just go right back to it.
Yeah, they can parallels.
They can go nuts, and the threes every year they got to go back to something. So this next year there's another three. A lot of people don't know this because they haven't been collecting for too long. But in the years that end in 3, Topps has a specific design for their cards. They always put a second picture of the player in the card. So I remember collecting the 83 Topps Tony Gwynn. It's got a circle, and it's got a little circle with another picture of the other guy's like face usually or something like that. And they did the same thing again in 93,
1993,
2003, 2013, and they're doing it again. If you saw, I think they put that's just what their design is. And they go back to it, So I would love it if in the 7s they did wood grain. And they do. They put like wood grain. The 87 Topps is the wood border. And I like that. So I'd love it if they do that. They don't do it, but the 3s they always put a little extra picture in. You'll see they released 2023. They released like a picture. I think it was Adley Rashman. They put the picture out, and it's got another little picture.
Got it.
Yep.
What would you say if it didn't? Right, it's under.
I'd say that was weird, and that they are going away from traditions. I might say, wow, it's under new ownership. They're breaking with tradition. I mean, I wouldn't. I don't know if I'd go too far beyond that. I kind of like some of the legacy. And speaking of legacy, Check out the 97 Flair Showcase Legacy Row 2 Michael Jordan out of 100 in PSA 9. Second year of Flair Showcase, Legacy Edition. It's Jordan. It's 90s inserts. And you know what happens when a couple of Jordan collectors find the 90s insert that they like. It's usually a bidding war. So just a real cool looking, Jordan Row 2 Legacy Flair out of 100. Cool card, right?
People, anytime a Jordan card is numbered, it's almost like I'm not gonna paint you a graphic visual here, guys, but you know what I'm saying.
There's another Jordan. If you're looking for an 86 Flair Jordan and you don't want to spend six figures, there is a PSA 8 with real nice eye appeal. Looks like a nice 9. It's got the PWCC S sticker on it. You could take a look. It's as nice of an 8 as you're going to find. Those are the Jordans on there. If you're looking for Jordans, I got one that I want you to talk about. All right, I got one. You could pull it up. You ready? It's a 2013 Panini Court Kings Giannis next day rookie auto in BGS 9.5.
You know I love the next day autos.
So that's why I want to talk about it. Right?
Next day autos are the coolest thing in the world. I just bought a Jordan Poole next day auto. So this is how it happened. I was watching that card all week last week. I saw on Burbank Sports Cards, they posted a story sale. Luka Raw next day auto. Guess how much it cost?
I don't know how much.
$8,000.
Woo! That's
for
a lot.
Raw next day auto. And I'm seeing here Jordan Poole. I'm ready to go up to $1,000. 10 auto, 8 card grade. They're really tough. They're really condition sensitive. And there's only a few of them ever out there. This Giannis, to me, I believe there's one on eBay that's a BGS 10. I do believe that, but don't quote me.
Were you trying to bid on this? Did I blow up your spot?
Yes, but remember a few episodes ago, I have no money, so I can't do that. Nice try. But yes, I will dream about bidding on it. I love this card.
What's it at?
Next day autos.
Pull it up so that people can. I'll talk about it also. I know you love next day autos. Pull up the next day. Be honest. Hold on one sec, guys. Sorry. Super short print. The rumor on this is around 200 copies are made for this Giannis. And what's really cool and what Andrew likes the most, but he forgot to tell you guys, is it's his original on-card auto that he signed. And he stopped signing like this around the middle of his rookie year. So like the National Treasures, Immaculates, they have the abbreviation on it. You don't have a lot of his autos on card and with this awesome, full signature of his. It makes this one of those, if you're a Giannis fan, it's not going to be cheap, but it is really, the perceived demand, real demand, supply versus demand. This is just one of those cards.
This is Giannis's card. The 9 corners really messes with me after Jason from Heritage. But I'll tell you, I don't think there's a lot of theories out there that Giannis doesn't even sign anymore. It's his brothers. That was Giannis's signature.
I mean, it's very, very possible. That would be sad. I mean, what would happen? The whole world would break down. Luka's mom would start signing some of his stuff. I mean, Miles Bridges could start signing LaMelo Ball's cards.
Miles Bridges has bigger problems to worry about.
I mean, listen, this is what happens when you forge a LaMelo Ball signature, I guess. So we got through the Court Kings. We got through it. There is a cool, if you're into non-sports, a 77 Star Wars Luke Skywalker PSA 9. And really nice looking card in PSA 9. Rare card in these high grades because, I mean, take it from me, I had these cards as a kid. I wasn't, putting them in plastics. I was throwing them around, and they were in the middle of the battlefield while I was stomping on them with my Boba Fett dolls. Action figures, not dolls.
Yeah, you had Boba Fett dolls?
Not Boba Fett. Although he would have lovely flowing hair. No, Boba Fett.
Frank.
Nice dolls. They're action figures, not dolls.
AIH has a hanky-panky video out on Star Wars. So just so you know, if you guys want to go watch.
Cool. So we'll continue. I don't know if he has a hanky-panky video about this, but Andrew dreams about hanky-panky with this guy. Let's look at the Cristiano Ronaldo 2003 Panini Sports Mega Cracks PSA 8. You know you do.
You could have even intertwined Mega Cracks into that. If you were next low, you were close.
You've been good lately, I mean, somebody noticed the funniest YouTube comment we got in the last week was, it's like my favorite part of this video, and it's like an hour long, is at 53 seconds where Andrew has to stop himself from pulling on his jewel because you could see it's in your hand and you're like, oh, I'm not going to do it.
I did not understand that reference. I've never smoked a jewel and I hate vapes.
And so I know, but
I'm all natural. I'm an organic guy.
Except for his Mega Crack. So anyway, guys, listen. Let's
Look at this
let's
photo of
take a
Ronaldinho.
look. Yeah, well, he's on Mega Crack, I guess, is what that looks like. But no, check out the Ronaldo PSA 8. I mean, listen. I'll ask you a question. Who has the most international goals ever?
Oh,
This guy.
is that right?
Yeah, more international goals than everybody, and he's got a World Cup coming up to add to it. Are you a World Cup investor? If you are, I mean, this is a guy who you might want to invest in. You can't invest in Haaland for the World Cup.
How do you know that?
You can invest in him for Man City, but not for a World Cup.
Which card are you referencing? There's a lot of Ronaldo cards.
The 03 Mega Cracks PSA 8. You can, rank by price. It's a nice card. The 03 Mega Cracks. By the way, you spell Mega, M-E-G-A, and Cracks in this one is C-R-A-Q-U-E-S. Not the crack you were putting in there.
But not in the later years. That's the thing. In the later years, I spelled it right.
Crack?
No, it's spelled MEGACRACKS. Interesting.
Right. That's the Nino Brown version. Cool card, right?
There's a kid on our team. Actually, I think his name was Matt Kerr. He had like frosted tips like Ronaldo when we were growing up. This was like the look. I don't know, man. I'm not a believer in that card. I don't know that.
All right. Well, I got two more for you. Is a card that I don't really love. A 60 Hemet's Journal Cassius Clay Muhammad Ali rookie card in SGC 7. I like the way this looks in SGC slab, so that's part of the reason I bring it out there. I think this one has gotten the auction house bump for the one that you want to have for Muhammad Ali for Cassius Clay because it's the earliest one. It doesn't check all the boxes for me for an actual card. It was in a journal. It's one you had to kind of like slice out. It's not exactly, there's also the Swedish record, which is cut off of a magazine. I'm more of his later, early 60s cards, like the Panini ones and stuff that came out. Personally, I like those. But remember, my personal take is not usually indicative of where the demand is. This one seems to be the one that people want. So it's a high grade copy, real nice. Obviously, he's a GOAT. You don't really go wrong investing in Cassius Clay, Muhammad Ali, but this is a cool one, and I like the way that it looked in an SGC slab, SGC 7. And now one really cool one to make sure that everybody takes a look at, because this is one where we can have a conversation. How far down from Flawless and National Treasures does Immaculate go? Like, is it a close third?
People don't love Immaculate.
Distant third, because if this were in Flawless, and this by the way is a bigger conversation, the guy that everyone's after. It's got the shield. It's a 1 of 1. It's all that stuff, but it happens to be Immaculate. So do me a favor and pull this up so we can take a look at it.
So
right?
I'll tell you, I've been a buyer of Immaculate, but it's the thing that you always say. It's like that's the consensus third.
Buy what everyone wants, not just what you want, right?
Yeah, and it's appealing. It really is appealing at the price point it's at. You get
so check out this
cards.
one. You ready? 2018 sure. Immaculate Josh Allen Shield 1 of 1.
Why is there a new Josh Allen 1 of 1 auctioning every week is what I want to know. And who's behind that?
People are smart. Take your money, Josh Allen. He has started off on fire. And, what you've noticed with this stuff is one loss. Justin Herbert with a loss. All of a sudden, people want Jalen Hurts instead.
I would be very worried about Herbert. I think any little thing that doesn't go right will be this one.
Just type in, yeah. So it's BGS 9, exactly. $3,500. So not an autograph card.
So there was a similar card. There was a Mahomes card like this that ended in the Premier. I believe it was at 30,000. And last year, same time, it sold for about 100K. So these are coming down because we're seeing just a supply shock, Cage. So for a Josh Allen collector, you got his rookie card. You got a gorgeous patch.
It's a rookie 1 of 1 shield. It's like it checks a lot of boxes.
Yeah, it's a beautiful patch with a 4-color patch. It's a gorgeous collector. I think right now, as you see, like this, a lot of people changing up their inventory. I bought this, but I didn't really want it, and you see it kind of auctioned off more and more times. It is an opportunity for collectors to kind of say, "Oh, I'll take that for a little bit of an affordable price. I have my money. I have secondary income. I like this card. So I think it's really a collector's market right now. I'll tell you a cautionary tale. Cage, Trey Lance. When should we sell Trey Lance?
Like 2 months ago?
No, come on, dude. Work with me. When should we sell Trey Lance? You just gave this quote. We clipped it.
Yeah, I know. So Trey Lance
in the run up to next season. Now,
let's
use that. Let's use this rhyming. You know what's happening right now? The exact same thing is going to happen with Zion.
Yes.
Zion is next year's Trey Lance. I'm not smart enough to explain that, but I
understand what you're saying. Oh, no, you're saying somebody who sat out with an injury in the prior season.
Had this much hype, had this much performance.
Yep.
And you're going to see Zion selling. Don't be anybody's exit liquidity is what Cage likes to say. Yep. Zion right now, if you want to take the risk, no, that's a risk that can go to zero and buy in. But be very careful because it is.
Zion's intriguing, man. Because, I mean,
Trey Lance is going to be intriguing next year.
He has a lot of, Zion's one of those, people thought of him as a generational talent. He was going to be that guy. Lance has never been that guy. Even if Lance is supposed to be, fantastic, he's still not supposed to be, Brady. I don't think he has the skills for that. But in any event, it is a great comparison. It is
Those
a
are
very
all
good
narratives.
comparison. Yep.
Those are all opinions.
Yeah.
Because I can compare anybody to anybody before they play a single game.
Speaking of opinions, let me get this out there for our true fans. I don't know what our numbers say. I don't care what our numbers say. Andrew said we had a goal of 1,000 true fans. I know we've hit that and we've surpassed that. And you guys listen to us every single day, and we love you for it. And yeah, sure. Would I love it if you stop for a second, if you're watching it on YouTube and hit the subscribe button, or if you're listening to it on audio and go over to YouTube and subscribe to us? Does that make conversations with people easier who look at numbers? Yeah, it does. And we would appreciate that. But for those of you who are listening, those of you guys who are in my DMs, I am a Yankee fan. Yes, I'm a Yankee fan. I want the Yankees to win every day. I watch all of their games. I'm thrilled that they're on a 6-game winning
liar.
Streak.
Sit on a throne of lies. You're a liar. You want them to lose.
It's a throne. It's a throne. I have a chair. King in the castle. La, 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 la. No, the point is here, I want Aaron Judge to have 75 home runs. I want him to win the World Series MVP after winning the MVP and the Triple Crown, right? I do want that. But what I am sitting here with our 1,000 true fans and anybody else who happens to check in on what we do, I am a risk manager. I mean, it is literally what I do. And I'm trying to help you guys manage your risk as well. So it's tongue in cheek, sure. But when I post that since I told you to sell Aaron Judge, he's 1 for 9 with no extra base hits and is now no longer leading the American League in batting average. So he's not currently the Triple Crown winner. I'm poking at it a little bit. And yes, I'm having fun with it. The people who kind of, attacked and the whole deal. But it is to grab your attention because the message is still sound, right? Yes, he could go and do all the things we expect him to do, but there's always a chance he doesn't. And there's always a chance that this roller coaster ride that we've been on all season ends and it's not as much fun as we thought it was going to be. It happens, so that's my whole deal. I want to make sure everybody knows.
What if they make a run in the postseason?
Then that's great. I hope they do. I hope he breaks every record.
Why did you skip opening day? And how are you going to live with yourself?
Yeah, I mean, that is going to be an interesting one. We'll see. We'll see what the prices and stuff come back next year.
Are you going to the playoff games?
I have tickets being offered to me for playoff games. Yes, but they haven't.
Sexual.
We don't know who they're going to play yet. I mean, you don't know what hopefully they continue to win. They get the 2nd seed. I don't think they're going to catch the Astros for the 1st seed, and then it's going to the Guardians and whoever gets the 6th seed will play. Whoever the winner of that is will play there, and we'll see what happens, man. I mean, it'll be fun. It'll be fun to watch. I of course will be rooting for them. I'll be rooting for Judge to be successful. I guess all I'm saying is, for the most part, Judge's cards have run so much that a lot of that success is already baked in. So that's one. Number 2, if you haven't seen my story, go check it out. Ran into a kid card collector today at the fair, which was just a lot of fun because I've walked that fair so many times. And there's fried Oreos and there's pickles and there's ice cream and there's sausages and there's never been somebody set up with cards. There was actually like 3 different tables that had cards. Some guys had toys and cards, but this is a kid who's just legit just setting up cards. And, it looked like he had like a card show set up, which was fun. Go give him a follow. You can check it out on my story if you're watching this. And my post. It's not even a story. It's a post. He had a mystery box. He reminded me of you. It's right there in the post, so it won't disappear. Anytime you hear this, guy, give the kid a follow. Ian was having fun with that also. I will
Did
also
you buy
say
into
this.
the mystery box?
We bought 2 mystery packs. Yeah. Well, we bought one and it was bad, and so we got a second one, and it was not so good either. The mystery was, where are the good cards? But that's okay. That's what happens. That's what happens with mystery packs. It's more
Not everyone
supporting.
could lose money on mystery packs. It takes a tremendous amount of skill and talent.
Yeah, that's true. I lost money trying to shoot baskets today. Ian got 2 hoops in and won a basketball, which is you could probably hear it bouncing in the background. Then they have one that like the hoop is smushed like this. It's 12 feet in the air, and like the ball doesn't fit in. And Ian tries from like 20 feet, like an NBA 3, and doesn't even get it halfway there. But I'm going to let him try. You know what I mean? Like if he wants to shoot, let the kid shoot. I literally could have burned $10, but I'm not going to not let him try.
As somebody who's done mystery packs for maybe the last like 3 months, 2 months, I know how many moving parts there are, how much like could go wrong. And I said this to Cage, but I want to say something. I think P. Ryan did a really, really good job with his mystery packs.
P. Ryan. Yeah, you did.
Relax.
P.
I
Ryan.
said it to Cage, but I want to say it out there because I saw the way he executed it. At 99.9% of mystery packs, people lose. But he had like a cool chaser card. He had these like autographed cards. I know you don't love like rookie cards auto, but I think it's cool. And then he had like the different parallels. So it was just interesting to see the creativity put into it.
Yeah. He gamified it. He made a little game out of it. Yeah, he made a little game. I saw Reckless open there. He got a Trout auto. Like I think it was like a Topps Dynasty Trout auto. It was pretty cool. I was able to, because I bought Ian a bracelet that you can get on every ride in this, a little fair, but I'm not a ride person. But we walk up to this ride called the Zipper, right? Which is, it's pretty cool. It's like a conveyor belt, and, you're in like this thing. And we get up to the line, and Ian's, his sister's running around with her older friends, and he's kind of just going on rides himself. And he's like, I want to go on this. I'm like, all right, you got the
Why are
bracelet,
you
man.
using
You
your
go on
soprano voice to tell the story?
I don't feel good.
Oh, you didn't complain once.
Yeah, well, I wouldn't have to if you didn't point out that I don't feel well. I've been under the weather for the last 3 days, man. I told you I got the soup. I mean, you've seen me on the episode drinking soup out of a cup. Anyway, so I apologize if anybody out there is not liking my soprano voice. But anyway, so very, very quickly,
you probably love it.
The Zipper. So he gets up there and they say you have to have 2 people for the ride, and there's a kid behind him. And he's watching the ride, and I'm like, Ian, go on with this kid. And the kid's like, I don't want to go on anymore. Like he looks at the ride because it's legit. Like take a look on Google if you ever been to one of your street fairs. It's called the Zipper, and they're like, well, you can go on with him. I'm like, I don't have any tickets. They're like, we don't care. You just need 2 people. Just get on. I'm like, my fat ass in this thing. It's a cage. I couldn't like I had to like turn sideways for the door to close.
Cage wouldn't go into a cage.
And it was my shoes. It wouldn't close on my shoes. I had to like turn my feet sideways. My feet were too big. But anyway, we get in there. Most one I've had in probably 5 years. He's dying laughing. We're just flipping upside down, backwards. This road, they turn it upside down and flip it all over the place. I'm like, this is the best ride ever. This is great.
When like you go, you're in a car and you like speed up and you go over like a little bump and like your stomach drops out.
Yeah.
That's like isn't that the greatest feeling?
I didn't feel my stomach for the whole ride. Like I didn't know what was happening. I've never been on this ride. And we go backwards, and the next thing you know, they turn it on, and you're not only is the whole thing moving, but you're on kind of like a swivel. So they start moving you, and you're like flipping backwards, and then you're going forwards like this, and you're flipping over going forwards. It was.
Thank God you didn't eat 30.
It's a good thing I spent it's a good thing I spent my money on this kid's mystery packs instead of eating fried Oreos, because the crowd would have gotten fried Oreos.
Is that a real thing?
Fried Oreos? Dude.
They take Oreos and they fry them?
Yeah. Have you ever had a Zeppeli? So it's like fried dough. So Zeppeli, fried dough, right? It's a little Zeppeli. It's like fried dough, and they put powdered sugar all over it. They put it in a bag to shake it up. It's really good. It's a very good dessert, right? So a fried Oreo is sort of like a play on that. It's a Zeppeli, but they have the Oreo in it. So basically, they batter an Oreo, they dip it in frying oil, they take it out. So now you have basically like a fried dough around a softened Oreo you buy, and they put powdered sugar on top.
Kids are growing up looking at
because there was. So much, forget it. It's not just that. So much success with that. They fry Twinkies. They fry Snickers bars. I'm telling you, man, they'll fry anything. It's America. America. Fry anything. I would fry my cigarettes before I smoked them. Deep fry my cigarettes. Yeah, man. Well,
if you had to pick one recession-proof investment, player, card, etc., who would it be?
Chick-fil-A. People are always going to eat Chick-fil-A, whether the market's up or down. A card or a player? You mean like memorabilia, a card, or just I should pick up the card and the player that's recession-proof? Honestly, I don't know.
Safest.
Mickey Mantle. I don't know whether or not there's ever been a time where Mantle cards go down. Although get some ice pal. Although the run up recently, like if you bought in the last crazy run up, and
You're probably down
by now, you might be down just in the last couple of months. But that'll recorrect. It'll go back up. I mean, listen, it's difficult because this asset class is one that does well when everything's doing well. You made a little statement to me the other day about like crypto, and that when crypto starts going back up, these other things start to go back up. Crypto, wine, bourbons, whatever else it is that people are investing in on the side, cars, Rolexes, comics, cards. There's a reason why all of it was going up when the market was good. And now all of a sudden, with the interesting fiscal policies that are going on in our country and I guess the world, without as much disposable income for everybody, there's a little bit of a correction.
So go get a job, bitches. That's what Cage is saying. Get a job, get some extra income.
Thank you all for listening to another episode of Lucas, Tigers, and Bronzo Mai. I wanted to tell you about a new service that we have starting as of today, and I'm really, really excited to bring it to you guys. So as a part of our partnership with SGC, we got 50 free submissions every single month, and many of you have taken advantage of that. And it's amazing that we could have the opportunity to 650 episodes, 675 episodes in, to go ahead and give back to our community. As people were sending those cards in, they asked, can we send 5, 10, 20 more cards to you guys? We'll pay for it, but we wanted them graded with SGC. You guys know SGC is turning cards around in 13 to 14 business days, have incredible customer service, and their secondary market values are going up day after day after day. And that's exciting for the hobby and exciting for the grading landscape. So we didn't want to just rush into it. We wanted to do it right. And what we did was I relocated here to Boca Raton, Florida. I opened up a P.O. box maybe 5 minutes away from SGC, and I will be hand delivering and hand picking up the cards. So you don't have to worry about anyone else touching your cards. It will be me, and I will update you every step of the way. So here's how it's going to work. I'm going to personally pick up the cards from a P.O. box, prep them, new card saver, new penny sleeve, and deliver them to SGC every single Tuesday. Why Tuesday? Well, it lets the stragglers over the weekend come back through on Monday and gives me a day to prep, and it basically gives SGC the entire week to work on grading those cards. Once your cards pop, only then at the end of the process will you be paying for the service. It's $25 per card, simple as that, and the turnaround times have never been faster. We're hearing right now 13, 14, less than 20 business days. So there it is. 9170 Glades Road, number 135 is the P.O. Box in Boca Raton, Florida, 33434. 9170 Glades Road, number 135, Boca Raton, Florida, 33434. Of course, you could shoot me an email or shoot me a text anytime, and I'm always available. Many of you already have my email. It's iamandrewgoldberg@gmail.com. or my cell phone number, 215-519-9154. Reach out with any questions. I could walk you through the process. I've hopped on the call with quite a few of you, and I'm happy to do that. Love you, Luca Nation.